Hey everyone, welcome to Let's Talk. I'm John and this is Matt, and this is episode 14 of Let's Talk Physical Media. But before we dive into anything today, if you are a fan of 4K Blu-ray reviews, movie reviews, tech and game reviews, we try and do them all here on the channel, and nothing helps out more than by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. This is the kind of show where we just kind of sit around, bullshit for a little bit, we answer some of your questions, we talk about all the news in physical media for the week, and that's exactly where we're going to start off because it was kind of a busy week.
Yeah, so Criterion finally putting out something that old Matt likes.
Yeah, Matt's a big Dazed and Confused guy. He actually has it.
Yeah, so Dazed and Confused, Criterion's finally doing something I like. You know, I have the Criterion Blu-ray of that, the Digipack, and that's actually a super nice piece. I love their Digipacks. But they're bringing that to 4K, and I'm pretty excited about that. I believe that's their February announcement.
Yes, they announced that. They announced the 1968 version of Romeo and Juliet, which I haven't seen. And then they announced the Three Colors trilogy. I'm drawing a blank on the director's name, but it's a French director. It's a French trilogy of movies. I've actually had the Blu-rays in my cart forever. I just haven't pulled the trigger on them, but I really do love that trilogy of movies. And now that they're coming to 4K, I'm definitely grabbing them. I think Three Colors Blue is the best of the three of them. You would have probably no interest in them.
Zero, yeah.
Yeah, but Blue really is, it's messed up. It deals with a woman, they get in a car accident, and her husband and her son die. And then she lives and, you know, life really just kind of falls apart from there.
Yeah, I'd rather just watch Top Gun or something.
Yeah, no, she wants to die.
Yeah, it sounds like a terrible movie, but you know what? That's just not my cup of tea.
No, I get that, but Dazed and Confused is.
Dazed and Confused is my cup of tea. I do enjoy that somewhat coming of age. You know, it's a 90s movie, but it's played in the 70s, and you know, I like that era on film. You know, the cool muscle cars, Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
That's what I love about them high school girls.
That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
Aerosmith tickets.
Yeah. You get a young Ben Affleck in there too.
You get a lot of young actors in that movie. That's a good one. That and I'm predicting that the Fast Times at Ridgemont High is going to come to 4K also from Criterion, because they do have a Criterion release of that on Blu-ray. And those movies generally always go hand in hand. Whenever you see just like traditional studio releases of those movies, they generally put those in a double pack together. I'm not sure why. Is it the same director?
No, Richard Linklater did. I don't know who did Fast Times, but Richard Linklater, he's the guy who did Dazed and Confused. And I think it's only his second film after Slacker. So
and they're not connected in any way. It's just they're similar movies.
They both take place. Fast Times at Ridgemont High takes place in the time it's filmed.
And that has Sean Penn, right?
Yeah, Sean Penn and Judge Reinhold. You know, he's the guy who gets caught jerking off in the bathroom. After, you know, like... That's all. Yeah, he's in that. It's a good...
I almost like Fast Times more. I think.
Do you? I really love Dazed and Confused.
I love Dazed and Confused also. They're both great. I remember the first time I saw Dazed and Confused. So my mother lives in Jersey still, and my father lives on Long Island. So I would be going back and forth to Jersey and Long Island when I was a kid, but I had like break from school and stuff. Now, not so much. I don't have the time to get up there. So my uncle was on a travel hockey team at the time, and they were going somewhere in Jersey. So I hitched a ride with them on their tour bus. It wasn't a tour bus. It was like a coach bus, you know. I guess they rented it because they had like an away game or something like that. So my uncle did my mother the favor of bringing me up to Jersey, and she come and picked me up from some parking lot. So she didn't have to go over the bridges and saved her some time. But on the way up there, we watched Dazed and Confused on the coach bus. And I was young at the time, you know, so this was my first time watching it. I didn't really understand everything that was going on. But I remember that was the first time I saw that movie, and all the guys on the bus were having a great time watching it. They all loved that movie. And yeah, for good reason. It's a fantastic movie. But that was my first experience with it, and I didn't revisit it for years after that. And then I finally understood half the shit I saw.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit in there. I just always thought Ben Affleck was such a fuck with the paddle.
Oh, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he really is. But, you know, he gets his comeuppance finally,
right,
you know?
Yeah.
But no, it's a great movie. I'm really excited for it. It's not my favorite Richard Linklater. I still think the Before trilogy is the best, but that's definitely not your cup of tea. Or probably everyone's just a walk and talk movie.
I want the Chevelle that Matthew McConaughey drives in that. They all have cool cars.
Oh,
One
yeah.
guy's got the Judge, the Pontiac, I believe. All sorts
Fun
of cool
fact, that one guy with
cars.
the hat and hair, that's a wig. That's not his real hair.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the skinny pothead. Kid,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's just
a lot of cool cars, but that's the era, 70s muscle cars. I love that type of. Those are my vehicles. I love that type of era.
Oh yeah, my dad loves Chevelles. That was his
I know
first
Uncle
car.
V can appreciate those
Yeah,
cars.
I mean,
Yeah. He's got the Torino.
he's got a Torino, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, lucky guy. I wish I had something like that.
He did. I don't know if he still does.
I got to drive around in my 2017 Altima with its own custom-made pinstripes.
Jesus Christ.
But then as far as other news, that's some pretty big announcements from the Criterion collection, actually. And yeah, Dazed and Confused is kind of a big jump for them. That's always like more mainstream.
And I believe it's coming in the same digipack as the Blu-ray did. So if you missed out on that,
Yeah, from what I've noticed with Criterion, they always reuse the same exact packaging. They just, well, what they'll do is they'll just put an extra slot for the 4K.
yeah, which I'm fine because I'll give you my Blu-ray and I'm gonna take that 4K
Yeah.
and review that. So I'm not losing anything.
No, and you can compare them too, because I'm sure it's going to look good.
Yeah.
Criterion does big jumps in their 4K, but I am wondering, because their last couple 4Ks have both not had HDR on them.
Really?
Yeah, they're so Night of the Living Dead and In the Mood for Love both just had SDR, no HDR, no Dolby Vision, nothing. So the only upgrades was the resolution.
But it still looked better.
It looked better, and well, as far as In the Mood for Love, Wong Kar-wai apparently approved the scan, and they call it like the Shrek scan because it's very green, but the green really pops.
Now, was there an audio upgrade?
Audio upgrade? No. It's actually
Well, those are older movies.
Well, In the Mood for Love is 2000, but Night of the Living Dead, that just has a mono track on it.
Yeah, I wonder if Dazed and Confused, that probably has a 5.1, I guess,
It
right?
should, but I'd have to check. But definitely, it's 1993, I want to say. But it's a good fucking
I would be
movie.
newer than that.
I don't think. I'm pretty sure the latest that it is 94. Is Dazed and Confused. I'm pretty
I
sure.
can easily go get up and go get it and look at it.
I mean, I could pull my phone out. It's right here, but
Again, that's a whole thing.
yeah. Then they're on camera. We look stupid. You
Yeah.
look stupid already. It's a big thing. But as far as other news, you were talking about. So we got a couple 4K Steelbook announcements, but these are all 4Ks that have already been previously released.
Yeah. Now, the only one in there that really stood out to me was Air Force One, which I was like, oh yeah, I have that on 4K already. So I already have Air Force One on 4K, but they were releasing that in a 4K Steelbook, which is actually pretty nice. I'm curious if there's going to be a slipcover on it, because it's just a basic generic picture right now. So
It looks just like the original Blu-ray in 4K, I believe, just on a Steelbook, if I'm correct.
no, I don't think so.
I've got to look at it, but I am not the biggest Air Force One fan.
I like that movie.
I know a lot of people do, and I have the Blu-ray, and it's got a good cast. Obviously, it's got Gary Oldman, Harrison Ford, William H. Macy's in that. Glenn Close, I think, is in that. But I don't know, like other than "Get Off My Plane," I don't really enjoy the movie that much. I find it to just be like one of those just generic action movies.
It's a Matt movie, baby.
Yeah, I know. Like it's just action, and I'm like, I don't really care. I mean, although Harrison Ford, great president, I'd vote for the guy.
Yeah.
I'd vote for him for a third term.
Harrison Ford or Bill Pullman?
Oh, Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that speech.
Yeah. We won't go quietly into the night.
I go from 6 to midnight every time I hear
Yeah,
that
that's
speech.
a good one. That is a good
It
one.
makes me want to rip my shirt off and just run out and just save America. Like he really gets you.
Oh,
feeling.
yeah. He gets
Harrison Ford seems like he's probably pissed off all the time.
Yeah, and he mumbles a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
He's just mad. But so the other two movies that are coming are The Legend of Zorro from 1998, which I have seen. I saw it way too young.
Is that Michael J. Fox?
No, I
Did
don't.
Michael J. Fox ever play Zorro?
He might have. I don't know.
Because I just remember the Family Guy thing where the Z and it's all fucked up because Michael J.
Fox has Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox in that Zorro remake.
Who was that masked man who saved us? I don't know, but he left his insignia.
They really just fucking. Family Guy holds nothing back.
So maybe he never did, and it's just he planned to. I don't remember what the whole. story
You know what?
about
You
it.
keep rambling on. I'm gonna look that up because.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Maybe he was in planned to do it, and he didn't get the part, and maybe.
I mean, I typed it in and it popped up Michael J. Fox Zorro. Although all it keeps showing
is Family Guy. Right?
Yes.
So I think Family Guy just took a jab at it, but I don't remember the reasoning for it.
Yeah, I don't know what the reasoning is, but
Maybe it was just like this is as stupid as Michael J. Fox playing Zorro. Or
yeah,
something like
it would
that,
be
you
a
know?
little ridiculous.
It just.
I mean, it's messed up because I love Michael J. Fox.
Oh, he's awesome. I love Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. I love Frighteners. I don't know if you liked it as much.
Frighteners was okay. Teen Wolf was okay, but
Teen Wolf is okay.
Michael J. Fox, that's Marty McFly, baby.
Yeah, that's all he'll ever be. I mean, for another generation, he was on that sitcom forever. I forget the name. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on it. I watched it a little bit. It was
Oh, he's in Rescue Me, actually. He made an appearance.
Yeah, and he has one of my favorite guest spots on Scrubs. I thought he did a great job. He had a 2-episode arc on there. And then the other one, I've never seen this film, guys, and that is 1997's Event Horizon, starring Lawrence Fishburne.
And
Sam
the
Neill.
Jurassic Park guy,
Yeah, Sam Neill.
I couldn't find that name. Dr. Grant. So on paper, that is a Matt movie.
Yes, sci-fi horror. All right,
However, it's it doesn't. The payoff isn't there for me. So I have the Scream Factory Blu-ray, and it's not a bad Blu-ray. I think I could have sworn they just did something with 4K with that. We're talking.
Well, it had a 4K come out in August, and now it's the Steelbook.
Was that Scream Factory?
No, it was just looked like just a studio release.
Okay. But yeah, so I passed on the upgrade for that, so here's a second shot at it, which I still probably won't get the 4K. I'm happy with the Scream Factory Blu-ray.
Well, I've never seen it, so I'll probably do the review on that. And
it's maybe you'll find something in it.
It really should be for you because you know who the director is, right? The guy who directed most of the Resident Evil movies is Paul W.S. Anderson. So he makes a lot of those, so I feel like that's right up your alley. You like those movies.
Yeah, I feel like every Sam Neill movie I've seen besides Jurassic Park, I'm not like...
But you haven't seen yet The Hunt for Red October and In the Mouth of Madness.
No.
Which I think are right up there.
Hunt for Red October, that's Sean Connery, right?
Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin. Yes. I have this 4K steelbook of that. Awesome movie.
That's the submarine or something.
Yeah,
right?
The Red October, exactly. And they do a really cool thing where... because they speak Russian. Sam Neill plays a Russian. Not Sam Neill, I'm sorry. Sean Connery plays a Russian. Actually, who the fuck is it again? Tim Curry's in this movie, too. And they do a thing like when they're speaking Russian to each other, the camera zooms in on them, and as it zooms out, they start speaking English. So, just so they don't have to do subtitles or anything like that. So we understand they're speaking Russian, but they're not speaking Russian for us. If that makes sense.
I think I get it, but okay.
Yeah, it's a really cool little trick just so that we don't have to watch them use subtitles for the entire movie.
I wish they would have done that with Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards, yeah, that one is very hard. Just I have a vision problem, so if something has subtitles, I have to sit right in front of the screen to watch it. Inglourious Bastards really just cuts back and forth between using subtitles and not using subtitles. And it also has a very bad 4K, which I feel like I'm going to have to end up buying now because now that Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction are coming to 4K, I'm going to have to complete that collection.
Oh, yeah? We're going to complete collections now.
For Quentin Tarantino, he only has 9 movies. I could make an exception.
I mean, and
he's my favorite director.
I support that, but I'm just saying there's
always... you just want me to go buy Batman Forever on 4K still. Is really what this boils.
Yeah. You should have that.
But then you're going to want me to buy Batman and Robin.
100%.
And you know I don't want to watch that again.
It doesn't matter. You need to have the Batmans.
I have them, though.
You don't.
I just don't have them on 4K.
So you don't have them. You never had your car.
Chicks dig the car.
No, that was a Fast and Furious reference.
Was it?
Mine. You never had me. You never had your car.
Oh,
Vin
the
Diesel.
first race,
Yeah.
Yeah, I had you. I hate that fucking
You
scene.
had me?
You had me. These fucking guys.
Now me and the mad scientist got to rip apart the block and replace the piston rings you ride.
I didn't know you knew the lines like that.
Fucking love Fast and Furious.
I mean, the Fast and Furious, the original is great, even though it is a Point Break ripoff, but it's still an awesome movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, you can see it's literally the exact same story.
Yeah, not quite. But
instead of just swap
there's
out
similarities.
swap out the surfing and you replace it with cars. One guy's a cop, but he's floating that line. He basically falls in love with Vin Diesel, just like freaking Keanu Reeves falls in love.
Yeah,
with
I mean they looked at the notes, but they just changed some stuff up.
Copy my homework, but just don't make it obvious.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Kind of deal. So yeah, that as far as news goes, that was really the big ones. Those big 3 as far as the new 4K Steelbooks. We got a lot coming up this week as far as 4K reviews go. What was the Wolves one you have reviewing this week? Something of the Wolves.
Oh, The Company of Wolves.
The Company of Wolves. Me and Matt have both never heard of this movie.
Yeah, it's a Scream Factory release.
4K, yeah. So we'll have a review for that.
I don't know if they have a Blu-ray release of that. I haven't seen it as I've perused.
Did you look into it at all? Mm-mm. So it's an 80s horror? Do you know anything? Or just nothing, huh? The cover has struck me as like a late 70s or early horror, 80s horror kind of movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I just hope that it's okay, you know. It just, I judge what we review kind of on, if you go to Blu-ray.com and you look at the lists, like mainly we're going to review most of the stuff in the top row. You know, that's generally how we go. It goes by, I guess, relevance, popularity. I'm not sure how they do it, but generally as you get towards the bottom of the list on that week or in that month, it's kind of just bullshit stuff that they're just mentioning because they have to. But the first line or two, that's the stuff that actually matters. That's the big deal. So we kind of judge what we're going to review off that. We try to do most of it. So this one was pretty high on the list, if not might have been number one. So I figured, all right, I never saw it. I like Scream Factory, so let me give it a shot. Yeah,
we got 6 or 7 4K reviews coming this week, but then next week we have almost none. It really depends when Roadhouse shows up. That might be the only 4K
I'm excited to check that out.
Me too. That's a big one for me.
Never saw Roadhouse.
I can't believe that. Roadhouse is one of the best. I love Roadhouse so much.
I'm pretty excited. Wait
till you see Sam Elliott.
Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
Because getting into Black Friday sale territory, that 4K is $9.99 right now.
I'm going to grab that.
You are, because Danielle keeps asking me to grab it. I'm like, I just don't think I want to watch it.
I think you're going to like it. First of all, the music is good.
Okay.
And, you know, Patrick Swayze's...
Like 80s music?
Yes. And I know you've heard some of the songs, boy. And you've seen the iconic scene where, you know, they lift her up in the air and everything.
This could be love because
And
but now, I mean, I like Grease. I love Grease.
I don't know if they're comparable. One is really like a story, whereas Grease is more of a musical. I wouldn't clarify Dirty Dancing as a musical.
Okay.
You know, it's more of like a story. It's kind of a coming of age story.
How about Saturday Night Fever?
I would say it's closer to that, but even Saturday Night Fever is kind of dark. And speaking of which, somebody was telling us in the comments that Saturday Night Fever 4K was terrible.
Terrible?
Yeah, they said one of the worst they've ever seen. The Blu-ray is actually better than that.
I have the Blu-ray. I didn't get the 4K because I didn't find that. Because it's an okay movie. You know, that's like a once every few years. You know, I was in the mood to watch it. I saw it had a Blu-ray, so I picked it up, but I'm not in a rush to get back to that. That's why I didn't want to do the 4K.
Yeah, they said, you know, it would have been nice if we would have reviewed it. They would have saved some money because of how bad it was, which is really disappointing. And then actually one of the reviews we're going to have this week is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Early reviews for that. Not looking good.
No, not looking good at all, which really, really, really scares and upsets me because I hope they're wrong, because Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is not only my favorite John Hughes movie, not only my favorite John Candy movie, not only my favorite Steve Martin movie, but it is one of my favorite movies ever. I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I couldn't wait for this 4K.
I only saw it once. I'm going to revisit it. Probably this week I'm going to end up watching that.
Well, you should watch it on Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving movie.
Maybe on probably the week of, probably like Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, well, Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I'll probably watch it like Tuesday, Wednesday, that night.
I love that movie. I'll probably watch the 4K to review it, and then that video will be out on Thanksgiving, but then I'll probably watch it again on Thanksgiving just because I love that movie so much. But I'm going to have to pick a version that I like more, so I'm hoping that it's at least slightly better than that Blu-ray. I mean, I was really hoping for more than that.
Yeah, it's a shame when 4Ks come out and they're not really worth the upgrade, or, you know, they're just not a good disc in general, you know? I mean, especially when you buy it, when you already have the Blu-ray and you're upgrading to a 4K and it's just a disappointment, that's a big bummer.
I just don't understand how that happens. That's the thing that really confuses me, because I swear to God I thought this, with all the Christmas ones from Warner Brothers coming out on the same week, I was like, these are going to look bad, because it just seems like a cheap cash grab, and they all look beautiful. So how does a 4K end up looking bad? Like, you should at least have the technology, you should have quality control to avoid that ever happening. I don't understand how it could actually come out looking worse than a Blu-ray.
So I assume it's like something with the quality control. I guess it really just comes down to like color grading, really, because they're bumping up the resolution. Sometimes, in most cases, they're putting HDR on it. If we're lucky, we'll get an upgraded audio track, and just a new scan of the movie altogether. But I guess sometimes when they take it from Blu-ray and they just bump up the resolution somehow, it doesn't port over right. So. I don't know the process in between it, but
we were just talking this morning, like I finally got around to watching my Blue Underground Maniac Cop 3 4K, and that is one of the best looking 4Ks I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, Blue Underground does fantastic work.
But that's what I mean, and like we always talk about source material. This is a 1993 low budget horror movie. Their source material must have been garbage, I imagine, and or at least not the greatest, but yet. You would think that 4K just came from a major studio last week. And, how do we get a major studio release that doesn't look good? I don't get that.
Yeah, it happens, It's not impossible, but again...
Yeah. I just think it's, an effort thing. Maybe they're on the timeline. It's whatever's done by this day, like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, you want that out by Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving movie. It's coming out literally this week. On Tuesday is the release date, 2 days before Thanksgiving. I can honestly see them saying, this is coming out November 22nd, whether it's done or not, so that's it.
That is a possibility also.
Yeah.
I just don't know I don't know the way the sausage is made with this, I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, that's more of a business kind of deal, and, we can only speculate. We can't actually speak fact on that. But that's really going to do it as far as news goes this week. We'll have some 4K reviews, like we said, coming out this week. That's all we'll probably have this week. Maybe we'll do some of those YouTube shorts that we've been doing for other stuff. Do you guys like that? Because we've done 2 so far. We're going to keep doing them a little bit here and there as far as new movie reviews, maybe some new game reviews. Some reviews of just stuff we just watched that we want to talk about.
Now, I consume a ton of YouTube myself. So as a YouTube watcher, I personally don't like shorts. But for some people on the go, or you only got a couple minutes, or just the quick review, it really depends on the content. So I drive all day. I have my phone set up on the mount, and I like to watch long form YouTube video, podcast. I watch all my podcasts. I like longer videos just so I don't have to touch the phone as much. A short is just annoying to me at that point. But if I was home or out on the go or just looking around, maybe a short isn't bad. But in the case of where we're reviewing something in 60 seconds versus a 14-minute video, that kind of makes sense, so... Yeah,
we think if it justifies it, like Matt did a review for Cobra, okay, Cobra, so do you want us, to do a quick 10... if we got a new 4K upgrade of that, cool, we'll do a whole 10-minute breakdown of it, 12 minutes, but for a movie that Matt just saw for the first time, hey, gave you his thoughts real quick, that seems to make more sense, when I see some new movies, on Netflix or something.
And there's something I wanted to add to that Cobra one. Amazing soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, you didn't bring that up.
Awesome 80s soundtrack.
Yeah, I gotta see Cobra. I still haven't seen it.
It's a good one.
Yeah, so again, maybe that will get a 4K and then I can finally see it. Who knows? Well, or I can just watch it or buy the Blu-ray now. But yeah, if you guys like those shorts, let us know. If you don't like them, you're like, you guys kind of suck at it. Stick to what you do. Let us know,
Well, we got some questions.
Hey, right? Yes, we do got some questions, and let's dive into that. And we're going to start right off with one of our favorite question givers and sick fuck of the channel. That would be Mr. Uncle V. What movie, if any, evoked a strong emotional response that clearly wasn't the intention of the director for you gentlemen, i.e., an example? Or, is that what it means?
Yes.
Okay. Depression while watching Liar Liar, or arousal during Serbian film. Thank you guys. Thank you greatly addressing the last week's question. So I can tell you that watching a Serbian film, arousal was definitely not what happened for me.
No, there might be an issue if you are aroused at any point of that movie.
I felt disgust and disdain for the filmmaker, but I didn't feel arousal. I didn't feel depression watching Liar Liar either, actually. I felt humorous, but I can see why you would get depressed watching that. That's kind of a sad story in a way, I guess.
Yeah. I tend not to watch depressing movies, so I don't ever really feel depressed.
Well, the movie is supposed to make you laugh. It's not supposed to make you feel depressed. Is there a movie that's supposed to make you feel happy and then it makes you feel depressed?
Right.
And
Yeah, no, not so much for me. I tend to stick in my lane,
Yeah.
horror.
I've been
sci-fi.
trying to think about that, and the best I could think of is like some horror movies that are supposed to scare you, like you end up just like laughing at how ridiculous they are, and like but sometimes that's the goal, so it's like really hard to tell. Like I don't know. I think the best example I could think of was when we were watching Halloween Ends. That movie's obviously supposed to get us all drawn in, and we were just sitting there bewildered watching the relationship between Michael Myers and what was the guy's name?
I don't even want to talk about it. Corey Cunningham.
Corey Cunningham.
Stop.
That stuff, I was just sitting there laughing. Like I could.
Like that's a situation where like I know people. I'm very easily entertained and easy to please, and like I know that people get upset with movies often and people hate most stuff that comes out, but I've never experienced it myself. This is the first time that I can really say that they took a franchise that I love, and Halloween 2018 and Kills, amazing movies. Then Ends, and that's the same people.
Same people. It doesn't make sense. David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, who we love Danny McBride. And
Next question.
all right, next question. So yeah.
Oh, Serbian film. If you guys are unfamiliar with that, just give that a quick Google.
Yeah, exactly. We have a review on the channel if you want to see our immediate reactions to when we first saw it.
That's a very early review of ours, but
yeah, we had Paige with us too back then.
Still holds true.
Yes, my views on the film have not changed, and they won't because I'm never, and I mean this, ever gonna revisit that again. So, Chris Jericho.
Trish Jericho.
I didn't know if you were gonna get it.
I knew where you were going. I forgot who did it.
Yeah.
For some reason, Lance Storm, not Lance Storm, Hurricane. The Hurricane came to mind.
What did the Hurricane used to say? He used to say something.
Lance Storm was "If I Can Be Serious for a Minute."
Yeah, if I could be serious for a moment.
Yeah.
That straight fuck.
And then
Hurricane had the "What's up with that?" thing for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Good
was,
old days of WWF.
Yeah, hey, Lance Storm was WCW too. He was. I don't know.
Not for me. I was a WWF guy through and through.
You never flip back and forth? Wow, I used to flip back. I was on WWE, but they had commercials.
I was brand loyal to WWF.
And for us here in New York, it was only one channel down.
It was.
So
I might like every time I did tend to go there. It just.
Oh, WCW put on the worst matches, but I did get into some stuff. And
Nah.
the Nitro Girls, man.
Yeah, no, I never got into the WCW, and the NWO stuff probably was pretty cool, but
I was a little before us when we finally caught up to WWE and WCW was still going on. Mm-hmm. That's when the NWO
was over. But I mean, we were still watching WWF when that was in their prime. NWO.
It was still going on, but it was kind of not the same Scott Hall.
Yeah, when did NWO start? 96. Is it that early?
Yeah, 96.
Oh, okay.
Bash at the Beach, July 1996. Hollywood
Hulk Hogan.
He dropped that fucking leg drop on Randy the Macho Man Savage, and then he turned on WCW.
What is he doing? God! Is he the third man? He's the third man! What the?
What a piece of shit. Still
Next
is.
question.
All right, and this is from Impressive Tony. And before I read his question, Impressive Tony has a YouTube channel himself where he does reviews on, and he does great work. He's actually helped the channel out a lot. Have you seen how we've upgraded our visuals? That's because he helped me walk me through a lot of the stuff that I do on Premiere to make it look a lot cleaner and everything like that. He also gave us recommendations on the audio, and it's all him. Go check out his channel and subscribe now. I promise you won't be disappointed. He does just amazing work. And now to answer his question, what was the first movie that got you into collecting physical media? For me, it was X-Men 1 and 2. I bought a box set of the 2 movies on DVDs, and I was obsessed over the special features for weeks. Prior to that, I had never really considered how movies were made. But now collecting and talking about movies is my #1 hobby.
So, I'm going to jump in here. So, I don't think it was a specific movie that made me decide to collect physical media. So, I want to say I had VHSs in the house. My mom would buy them. It wasn't like my collection that I spent my money on. But right around the time where I started having my own money, birthday stuff or working my first little job, that's right around the time where DVDs came out. And I remember the guys upstairs, because we owned the house and we had tenants upstairs. and they were younger guys. They were cool, so I would go hang out with them and play PlayStation sometimes. And they had a stack of DVDs. They had like a collection of some movies, and I always thought that was cool. I thought it was like, for some reason as a kid, I thought like the PlayStation discs and having DVDs was like the sign of being a responsible, mature adult. And I don't know why. So I was like, oh, I want a movie collection. So I remember one birthday, I ended up getting a DVD rack. And one of the first DVDs I got, I remember, was Shrek, Dumb and Dumber, and Ace Ventura. Those are like my first DVDs. And I just enjoyed, because this is before Netflix and stuff like that. So I just would get all the movies I enjoyed watching. So comedies I was very comedy heavy at the time, but for good reason. That's the prime time for comedies, or around the, what was it,
90s to early 2000s.
Yeah, it was very early mid-90s, I would say.
I would say theater comedies
whenever
are dead
DVD
now.
came out. What is that, mid-90s?
Mid to late 90s, but then we caught up to it like when the PS2 era came around,
Right,
2000,
because I had
2001.
the PS2 in the room, so I had the rack of the games and the movies, and then just as time went on, I upgraded my DVDs to Blu-ray, and the collection just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and here we are today.
Yeah. Well, I actually had a little different than you, because you started collecting and you never stopped. So I collected DVDs, sold off my whole collection, and then I kind of stopped for a while. I didn't collect anything. I just had streaming stuff, and then I bought a Blu-ray player, and then the first Blu-rays I started because I restarted my collection. I always liked to collect, but it was just like DVDs. I was kind of like, I don't know how to put it. I bought an apartment. I kind of got engaged to my now wife, and was like, yeah, I need a little bit of money, so I sold the DVDs off. Didn't think about it, but then I missed having all my movies. So then I went back, bought a Blu-ray player, and I decided, okay, the first movies I actually got on Blu-ray were the Terminator Blu-ray collection that was out at the time, and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And since then, I have never sold any Blu-rays or DVDs or 4Ks, anything. It's all remained there. The only place that they have gone is to Matt, my doubles, and that's it.
My first Blu-ray, I think, was The Dark Knight.
Well, The Dark Knight had one of the nicest Blu-rays you could have. Didn't that had the lenticular lens cover, right?
No, it had like a metallic cover.
I thought it had the lenticular, but yeah, I remember that Blu-ray. Oh no, you're right. It didn't have lenticular. It was
like metallic.
Yeah, like it kind of, you can move it and it would like have like a shine to it. You're right.
That's what I thought.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. And yeah, I had that Blu-ray too, because I did have a PS3 and I did kind of get some Blu-rays, but then again, I just kind of got rid of them all.
Yeah, because same thing with video games. At one point, I think, because as a kid you have to buy and sell to get the next new hot game. But I think there was I want to say like basically when the 360 generation started is where I stopped selling stuff and I was able to afford to just go buy another game, and I just built my collection up from there. And then I went back over the years and just rebought everything that I can remember having, and then some other stuff on top that looks interesting, and now I have my big game collection.
Yeah, your game collection is crazy. I don't even have a game collection anymore. It's kind of sad. I miss having physical games, although I would just take them and sell them and go buy new games.
And I remember, so it used to really, really grind my gears that he used to sell his games like this. And they would be like, we'd be playing on Xbox Live, and there would be games that I know and I knew he sold. But I'm like, hey John, you want to pop this in? Knowing damn well he sold it already. And he would lie to me. He's like, oh no, I don't feel like playing that right now. I'm like, oh okay, maybe later. He's like, yeah. But he would never tell me that he sold the stuff, even though he sold it weeks ago. But I knew it was gone because he wouldn't want to play it.
Yeah, I used to always get upset with that, or be worried that Matt was going to find out. I would appear offline sometimes after I sold something just because I didn't want to hear him say something about me selling it. But I would use it to go buy another game at least, like, 'cause I used it for GameStop cash. It's not
right,
like I was
but
using
it's
it.
just...
No, I listen. I understand and I regret it completely, but on the other hand, at the time, I didn't regret it because I wanted those games, and you got to do what you got to do.
It's a shitty system. You get 50 cents for...
GameStop, and that's why I don't really have too much pity for what's going on. I'm not pity. I don't have any emotions towards them, like going out of business right now. It's like you treated your consumers pretty shitty for a long time. You'd buy a game from them for $65, return it the next week, and they turn around and sell it for $55 and give you $30. So they just made a
Yeah.
$25 profit.
Yeah, that was the most you would get is $30 on a new release.
Yeah, and then they would take $5 off.
55, yep.
Yeah, so I don't really feel too bad. That's some bad, that's bad business practice. Bad for the consumer, good for them, and then you know what? Karma comes back around, I guess. That's how that works.
Next question.
So Tony, thank you very much, and again, guys, check out his channel. Does amazing work. So we have 2 more questions, and these are from the same person. And this is from Kevin L. Which boutique label had the best year in 2022? And that's actually why I brought these over here.
So you're going to say Arrow Video, huh?
No, I'm not going to say Arrow Video.
Okay.
I actually am having a hard time picking, and I think...
I would need the list in front of me. I know Arrow. I can't remember. I don't even think we reviewed anything Arrow this year.
Well, all 3 of these have reviews on the channel.
RoboCop?
We did RoboCop, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We did RoboCop, True Romance. You have a different True Romance than I do. So here's RoboCop. Here's True Romance.
That's an amazing release. I love their releases, what they did put out, but they've been quiet for a long time.
Well, that was going to be my next point. Is all 3 of these were out, I believe, before August, which is I would say might even been around July, which is like the halfway point of the year. And I haven't gotten, I think, anything from Arrow since, except for Flatliners in August. And then they've had a lot of cool UK releases, but none over here, like The Wolf of Wall Street or Videodrome. Still haven't gotten Silent Runnings.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that either. But yeah, they've been quiet.
But I would have said a home run, 110% Arrow wins this year, but the second half of the year,
a little quiet.
Yeah.
I'm just going of what I can remember. I'm probably gonna have to say Scream Factory. I know there's some people not too happy with some of the stuff that's been coming out, but
there were some mistakes this year on Scream Factory's end.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm just looking at what they did release: the Halloweens, the Child's Plays,
Species.
Was
Alligator this year?
Alligator was this year. Alligator was okay. I didn't love that.
Piranha was more recently.
That was a good one. That was a really good 4K.
Arrow Video did 12 Monkeys this year too, which I really liked.
Oh, they did do 12 Monkeys, yep.
And I think The Craft this year was Scream Factory as well.
Scream Factory, yep.
And you could say Escape from LA and New York, but those were Shout, right? Those aren't Scream.
Same thing.
Pretty much, but see, that's the other thing with Shout and Scream. It's like they release a lot.
Red Dawn.
Yeah. Because then you have Shout Select, and they also did, like you said, Red Dawn, and then they also did...
maybe you like Criterion. I'm not a huge Criterion guy just because of the content that they're putting out. I'm sure it's fantastic work. I just don't really like the movies.
So that was going to be my pick, was going to be Criterion, because I thought that they had a phenomenal year, because they just got into the 4K game at the end of last year, so now this year, first full year of releasing 4Ks, and... they've done some brand new ones, and they've done some where they've upgraded their previous Blu-rays.
Right.
So I thought they did, you get Night of the Living Dead on 4K this year. But yeah, and then actually as far as Criterion goes towards the end of the year, now this week actually we're going to have reviews for Wall-E and Malcolm X on 4K, and those are 2 big heavy hitter all-time classic films. So they got together with Disney for the first time.
Real quick, down in the comments, how do you pronounce the movie Wall-E?
Oh yes.
Is it Wall-E or Wall-E?
I'm going to always say Wall-E, but I get it. Eve always says Wall-E, but I don't know. I always think Wall-E.
I'm going to say Wall-E.
You probably are right, but, we'll see.
So you're probably an idiot. All right.
Okay, that's one way to put it. But yeah, I think Criterion overall, this was the same year. I believe we also got, Menace to Society was last year. But there was a lot of great 4Ks that came out from them this year. And Miller's Crossing came to Blu-ray from them, which I love.
Was American Werewolf in London this year from Arrow?
No, that was last year. That I was going to grab, actually, because the same thing, Donnie Darko is a real
Donnie Darko, okay.
Yeah, Arrow Video would win easily because these hard boxes, man. Oh, these are the best.
And I want them to do Terminator like that.
I hope they do. But the thing is with this, what do we get? Like 5 or 6 of these a year?
Something like that.
Like, not everything comes in this. So sometimes you just get a standard 4K with an Arrow slipcover. Mm-hmm. And those are okay, but it's just, when they whip out these boxes, it almost doesn't matter what the movie is because I kind of want to have it. You have most of them, don't you? Because you got Hills Have Eyes 2 and...
You have more than me. I don't have Wild Things.
Yeah, which you should see. You'll like Wild Things a lot.
Yeah? So just give me that.
I'm not going to give it to you, but you can buy it.
From you?
Not from... Well...
I'll give you half price. I'll give you $20.
No, because give me $5 more than what it's valued. That's so I can go buy it myself again.
No.
And you can have this right now.
Nah. I thought I was being generous with 20.
Why? It's a good movie, and look at the box. I'm sorry. And with this True Romance set, guys, this is the Steelbook version. Matt has a different version of this, actually.
I do.
Yep.
And that's not something they always do. It's
No, that was the first time I ever saw them do that, actually. So, very unique packaging there. So, you're picking Scream Factory, Shout Factory?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Scream Factory.
I'm going to have to still go with Criterion. I'm sorry. Criterion, for me, like, the movies they release do speak a little bit more to me than to Matt. But the Scream Factory movies, they pretty much all speak to Matt. Like, I think he got Space Truckers, if I'm correct. And that's a movie I would have never, in my wildest dreams, thought to get. And I
didn't watch it yet.
I need to know what it's about.
Yeah, I haven't got there yet, but they said limited edition. It's a sci-fi movie, so they...
I got an update that they're 95% sold out of that. They said if you want it now, it's like your last chance.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I was thinking about that recently. And then Kevin asked us one more question. And he said, what are your top 3 4K discs of 2022 to show off your TV? So that's visuals only. So that's not going to include like the best audio. But I think number 1 is pretty obvious for both of us.
Top Gun, baby.
Yeah, that 4K, visually just stunning. The IMAX scenes.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, visuals on that. That is number 1. If anyone comes over, you got a brand new and beautiful TV, and you're like, I want to show you guys how good this looks, you throw on Top Gun Maverick. Now, right behind that...
That's a fantastic Atmos soundtrack also.
Yeah, but I think we're going to actually do an end of the year like awards thing where we pick the best like 4Ks and everything like that.
The Dundies.
The Dundies. We're going to call them the Talkies. So we don't want to spoil like what has the best audio, so we're only going to talk visuals. But for me, surprisingly, In Bruges was an unbelievable 4K upgrade, and that is just a 2K intermediate on top of that. And it's shot on film, and I think that's really what helped enhance it. But that is stunning. I love the way that's 4K looked visually.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Yeah. So what else did you have?
I want to say the Batman, but I did not watch that whole disc yet. I just watched parts just to see, and it looked great. But I can't really, in good conscience, say that because I'm not 100% sure. Because we saw it twice in theaters and then I watched it once on streaming. So I seen that movie 3 times before the Blu-ray even came out.
Yeah, you did see it a lot before it came out. It's hard to... I'm actually going to rewatch that before we do our awards, that and The Northman.
Oh, you know what? You know what's a very good disc? Sonic 2.
Oh, yeah, you did say Sonic 2 was a good 4K.
Sonic 2 was a very good 4K. But again, these are these high-budget studio releases that are filmed on the highest quality, newest cameras. So it's kind of hard not to have a good release like that. That's why Top Gun looks so good. That's why Sonic looked good. It's really like these movies from the 80s and 90s that they're bringing to 4K, but that's not something you show off your home theater with. That's something you show off what 4K is capable of doing, because even the Blu-ray of Top Gun Maverick probably looks pretty fucking amazing. Yeah,
that's a thing I noticed recently. Like, we talk about this all the time, like the jump. Sometimes a Blu-ray can look better than some low-end 4Ks. There's some really good-looking Blu-rays out there. Like, Independence Day pops always in my head.
That's a good Blu-ray.
That's an amazing-looking Blu-ray. So, it really does...
I'm tempted to get that 4K.
Me too, just to see, right? Like, what? Because
I love that movie, and if it's 5% better, I'll be happy.
Yeah, it's probably... That's usually pretty cheap, if I'm correct. But yeah, as far as 4Ks like this year, and then another one, for example, and it's basically just what Matt said, is Nope, but that, just like Maverick, has IMAX scenes in it, and that came out this year. Yeah, so of course it's gonna look amazing. So that's like the visuals are a 10 out of 10. It's just really that you're really looking at what else is going on.
And I haven't watched them yet, but I assume that the Jurassic Park and the Matrix 4Ks are probably very good looking.
I'm sure Dominion. Universal usually does really good does good upgrades.
Again, anything new like that, a new action movie. Ambulance.
Oh, Ambulance,
that's a good showpiece as well. That's something you should definitely...
Come on, Michael Bay in L.A., sunny day. What are you going to do? That's beautiful. Yeah.
Cars, guns,
explosions. Yeah, hot girls. It's he that's what he does. He goes down a checklist when he's making a movie. Can I get myself a star? Ooh, Jake Gyllenhaal and Anthony Mackie are available.
Is that all the questions?
Yeah, that's all the questions.
So we have a question for you guys. So we just got this made. Do you like that? Did it like kind of take it away from this? Because this is just it's on like plexiglass, and we got custom neon, but it's pretty cool, you know. I mean, we could maybe hang it.
Oh my God, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I didn't even notice, and you're gonna fucking think there's something wrong with me.
What?
I didn't notice it was on glass.
How would they make it?
I thought it was like the wire, like like they used to do.
It is, but they glued it onto clear plexiglass.
It's very clear. I didn't even see it.
Anyway, what do you guys think of that? Well, the on-air sound. We're trying to, up the production quality, but is it too much? Did it look all right? Was it distracting? Did the camera? Because it looks like it pulsates a little bit on the camera. So just, should we continue to use that?
If it's too distracting, let us know. Like, I know when I do the shooting at my house, sometimes the whatever screensaver I play on the screen can be a little distracting. Someone said they're like, kind of like very distracting, and sometimes it messes up the focus. So, you gotta let us. Like, I appreciate you guys letting us know when you see flaws like that, because if you don't tell us, we think they're fine. So. Yeah. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for us on another episode of Let's Talk Physical Media, episode 14. If you want to ask any questions for next week's episode, drop those in the comment section below. And while you're down there, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, take off all your clothes, and go tell all your friends about us. Ow!